Yin started packing up all her belongings and prepared to leave. She exited the company building feeling completely exhausted. It seemed like from now on, she would have to be even more patient. Her life wouldn't be easy if she kept facing Jungkook. Yin was sure that Jungkook would seek revenge on her. Should she just resign from this company? But if she resigned, she would struggle to find a new job, and both she and her mother really needed the income. Now, Yin wasn't just thinking about her own life but also about her mother, who was now old and frail. You really are incompetent, aren't you? Making mistakes even in this task. Do you not want to work here anymore? You can submit your resignation letter now. Yin looked at him with a shocked expression. She shook her head, her face on the verge of tears. I'm sorry, sir. I will pay more attention to my work. Honestly, she couldn't bear it anymore, but there was no other choice. This was the only job she had. Her financial situation didn't allow her to resign from here. She didn't want her mother to go back to working like before. She had to endure even if her body was breaking down. This revision must be correct this time. If you make another mistake, your position is at stake. Jungkook slammed the document in front of Yin and left her amidst the employees who witnessed it. Some people started talking about the incident. Mr. Jungkook is really terrifying, isn't he? Shouldn't he have scolded Yin in front of so many people? If I were Yin, I'd just resign from here. I couldn't handle being scolded like that every day. Yuki quickly approached Yin and helped her. Yin, let's get out of here. Yin nodded quietly. She followed Yuki's steps to the office lounge for a brief rest. Yuki, I have to go back to the room and work on this revision. Yuki, take a short break. Yin, you've been working overtime lately. I'm worried you might burn out. It's okay, I'm still strong. But I'm getting puzzled now. The closer it gets, Mr. Jungkook keeps asking you to work overtime. He even scolds you in front of many employees, like earlier. He does that because he hates me. Let it go. I don't want to think too much about it. Maybe my report wasn't good enough for him. But this is getting out of hand. Haven't you thought about resigning from here? I still can't, Yuki. This is my only job. This job has been helping me and my mother all this time, especially with my mother's current condition. I can't quit working. You have to be patient. If there's anything I can help with, just let me know. Yin just nodded weakly. Revise it again. Yin clenched her fists tightly. Enough. Her patience had its limits. How many times had she revised it? She couldn't understand where she went wrong. What's your purpose in all of this? What do you mean? Are you intentionally making me revise all these documents? Do you hate me so much that you're doing all this? Yin glared resentfully at the man in front of her. Meanwhile, Jungkook just smirked at her. Yes, that's right. I hate you so much, Park Yin. I hate you so much that I want to see you suffer. I want you to pay for what you did to me before. It was as she suspected. This was the reason Jungkook kept bothering her here, because she had left him. You're not professional at all, are you? Bringing personal grudges into the office. Yin's sarcasm made Jungkook chuckle cynically. So what? As long as I can use it, I'll keep doing it. No one will protest against my decision. Who can stop me anyway? Yin struggled to contain her emotions that were ready to burst out at any moment. Her head had been aching since earlier from holding back her emotions. Sweat started to bead on her forehead. You're so petty, Jungkook. I don't know what my mistake is, but you keep blaming me. Here. That's how I feel. I also don't know what my mistake is to you, for you to end our relationship without a single word. You think my feelings for you are just a game, huh? Jungkook raised his voice at the end, startling Yin a bit. She could see the intense hatred in his gaze. Fine, if you really hate me that much, I'll resign now. Hearing that, Jungkook looked surprised. Meanwhile, Yin was about to leave. She continued walking towards the door, her vision starting to blur. Then, as she reached the outside of Jungkook's office, her vision suddenly darkened, and at that moment, she didn't know what happened next. Meanwhile, Jungkook, still inside his office, was even more shocked when he heard a loud noise of something falling from outside his room. Yin. Swiftly, he rushed to where she was. He looked extremely surprised to see Yin's pale face, blood coming out of her nose. He immediately carried Yin's body to take her to the hospital. A middle-aged woman ran down the hospital corridor, sweat dampening her face. Worry lines etched her forehead. She was Yin's mother. Upon hearing the news of her daughter being hospitalized from Yuki, she quickly made her way to the hospital to check on her daughter's condition. Yuki, who was standing in front of the room with Jungkook, turned to the source of the voice. Auntie, you're finally here. How is Yin? What actually happened to her? Auntie, please calm down. Yin is being examined by the doctor. Yin's mother turned to Jungkook, who was also staring at her. She looked surprised to see him. You? Why are you here? Are you planning to make Yin cry again? Yin's mother's face looked angry as she glared at Jungkook, leaving Yuki puzzled. Auntie, do you know Mr. Jungkook? Not only do I know him, I know exactly who he is. He's that wicked mother's son. What do you mean by that? Isn't it true? Because of your mother, Yin has suffered all this time. My daughter has been trying to overcome her struggles, but she ends up like this again. It's all your fault, isn't it? You're the one making Yin suffer again, right? Yin's mother grabbed Jungkook's shirt, her face full of rage. Yuki quickly intervened. Auntie, please calm down. How can I calm down, Yuki? It's because of this man that my daughter is suffering. If I had never allowed her to date him, Yin wouldn't be in this much pain. Yuki was shocked to hear this. Yin had never mentioned that her CEO was her ex-boyfriend. No wonder things fell off all this time. Shortly after, the door to the room opened, revealing the doctor who had examined Yin. Yin's mother approached quickly. Doctor, how is my daughter? Don't worry, the patient is doing better now. She was just dehydrated and exhausted, which caused her typhoid to relapse. I advise her to maintain a proper diet and get enough rest, if you'll excuse me. Upon hearing the doctor's statement, Jungkook felt guilty. It was because of him that Yin ended up like this. Yin's mother and Yuki quickly entered the room. There Yin was already awake and sitting on the hospital bed. Yin was surprised to see her mother there. Her mother immediately hugged her tightly. Yin glanced at Yuki, knowing her friend must have informed her mother. She didn't want her mother to worry about her. Don't cry, Mom. I'm fine, really. Fine? How can you say that? You ended up in the hospital like this. He's the one who caused all this, isn't he? Yin was taken aback. She looked towards Jungkook, who had just entered the room. No, Mom. I'm just tired from work, but I'm really okay. Yin tried to smile to reassure her mother. Don't lie to me. As long as he's around, you'll always suffer, just like his mother did to us. Mom, please, let's not talk about that again. Yin didn't want Jungkook to hear the truth about why she left him in the first place. Auntie, can you explain to me what my mom did to you? Yin tried to stop her mother from speaking further, but her mother insisted on telling the truth. You want to know the truth? Why Yin leave you? It's all because of your mother. She came to our house. She sent people to vandalize our home. She did it to make Yin end her relationship with you. That's why we moved away from there. Not only that, she even insulted us, saying we were a poor family, not worthy of being compared to you. That's why my daughter ended her relationship with you. Jungkook widened his eyes upon hearing this. He didn't expect to hear this. So, all this time I misunderstood Yin. Mom told me Yin left me because she was dating someone else and taking money from Mom. How foolish of me to believe all that. But how could I not believe it, when it was my own mother who did all this? Jungkook glanced at Yin, who just turned her face away. After that incident, Jungkook repeatedly wanted to stay with Yin at the hospital, but her mother always prevented him. 3 days later. Are you sure about this, Yin? Yin nodded. Yeah, besides, it should have been done a long time ago. Alright, I'm going in. Yin walked towards the CEO's office. Before entering, she took a deep breath. Come in. I have something to say. Jungkook looked at Yin as she approached his desk. What do you need? Instead of answering immediately, Yin handed an envelope to him, who looked puzzled. This is my resignation letter. As you said, I don't seem to fit in here, so I'm quitting. Jungkook was actually surprised to hear that. He remained silent for a moment. Alright, I understand. In that case, I'll take my leave. Thank you. Their eyes met, and deep down, Yin felt guilty for the man in front of her. Perhaps if she were in his position back then, being left without any explanation, she would have been devastated. Yin was curious about what happened to Jungkook back then, when she left him. And now, she would be resigning from this office, meaning they wouldn't be able to meet again. There was sadness in her heart as she realized Jungkook didn't stop her from resigning, even letting her go like this. Despite everything, her heart still ached. Deep down, she still loved him. Unbeknownst to them, they were now locked in each other's gaze, as if conveying their innermost feelings. Jungkook could see the sadness in her eyes, and Yin could sense the profound sorrow in his heart. This was dangerous. Yin didn't want things to escalate further, so she immediately turned around and headed for the door. Her tears were on the verge of flowing if she didn't leave soon. Before she could leave the room, Jungkook suddenly hugged her from behind, catching her off guard. Why are you so cruel to me? Even now, you won't say anything about what happened back then. Why do you let me drown in my own resentment? Jungkook, please don't do this. You're making our situation even more difficult. Yin tried to release herself from his embrace, but he held her tighter from behind, overpowering her. Aren't you curious about what I went through back then? Don't you want to know, Yin? I almost committed suicide because of you. Hearing that, Yin couldn't hold back her tears any longer. Since then, Jungkook has been almost devastated. Of course, Yin could guess how broken Jungkook must have been back then. She was afraid at that time, thinking that Jungkook might commit suicide because of her. And it turned out to be true. But fortunately, Jungkook is still alive until now. Even now, if you still want to leave me, Yin, you're so cruel to me. Why did you do this to me? I'm sorry. I had to do it. I didn't want your mother to come again. My mother will never come again because she's already dead. Yin was shocked, and she immediately turned around to face him. Her cheeks were wet with tears, and Jungkook gently wiped them away with his thumbs while caressing her cheeks. What are you saying? Don't joke, Jungkook. I'm telling you the truth. My mother passed away a year ago, so she won't interfere in our relationship anymore. His thumbs, which had been wiping her tears and caressing her cheeks, now moved to stroke her lips. Lips that he used to kiss so often, always being able to enjoy them whenever he wanted. He really missed it. Jungkook didn't want to hold back anymore. Without waiting for her approval, he leaned in and planted a kiss on her lips. Yin was surprised to receive a sudden kiss from him, but she allowed it. She didn't have the heart to push him away. She was already filled with guilt. Meanwhile, Jungkook was engrossed in his own activities, kissing her lips gently. Lips that belonged to someone he had missed so much, someone he still longed for even now, someone he still loved. The kiss, which started softly, gradually became more intense and demanding. His head had been tilting left and right to deepen the kiss, and his hands had been pressing her neck since then to deepen it further. Now they both were caught up in the current moment, a moment full of longing and love. After kissing for quite a while, Jungkook finally ended their kiss. Please, don't leave me again. Forgive me. I'm sorry for leaving you without explaining anything. Shh, don't cry anymore, baby. I also apologize for my foolishness, for not seeking out the truth on my own. I never imagined that my mother, who seemed like an angel to me, would. Shh, no matter what, she's still your mother. Yes, and everything has passed. Now they both embrace tightly, releasing the longing of 3 years of separation. In his embrace, he repeatedly kisses her head and continues to gently stroke her head. You can't resign. I'll burn or tear up your letter. Yin, hearing that, laughed in his embrace, and she hugged him even tighter. All right, I'll never leave you again.